All right, D-Roy, it's the episode everyone's been waiting for. It is some tax time of the Deathpiles and Taxes.
Wow, this is congruent episodes. They have to wait a month in between or nothing.
No, it's going to just skip right into it. This first part of January. I mean, it is going to be tax time here pretty quick.
It's going to be tax time, and if you're new to online selling and that kind of thing, it can be very intimidating. If you just started your own business or whatever, that's usually why people don't want to try it, because they're afraid. One, they're afraid they're going to fail, or two, they don't know how to handle the taxes.
And I have breaking news. I just found out about this about a week and a half ago. So the thing I've been talking about for years, you're going to get a 1099 from Venmo, from all of these places. They caved. They caved and says, you know what? We just, it's going to be too hard for everybody. So that limit of, if you had any money come in for $600, they were going to send you a 1099. They said, nope, it's going back to the original $20,000 mark.
Yeah, they said it postponed. I don't know if it was indefinite.
It was postponed until the end of this year.
They're going to try to. They're still going to try to weasel in there.
Yeah. So as far, which is to me was like literally, it is a godsend for me. It was going to be a hard tax season for me anyways, because it didn't matter if you were a reseller or not. If you had a Venmo account and you had more than $600 come into that account, you were going to have to report it.
Which many people did.
Yeah, and then it's not just Venmo; it's any cash transfer app. So that was part of the email that my office manager and I were kind of getting together, saying, as you prepare for tax season, if you have any cash transfer, you're going to get a 1099-K, and you need to include that in. So it was going to create a lot of more work for me, because then I have to explain to you saying, Derek, now that you're doing this, even if you're not a reseller, you have to report this as income, but then you can back out the expenses. So,
well, I mean, just think about that. You go to dinner a few times with family members or movies or whatever, and like, yeah, hey, I bought the tickets, pay me back. $600 can add up pretty fast that way. You sell a car, you sell, anything, and you just like Venmo me over. You don't have to be a full-time reseller to hit that threshold.
Well, especially when the fine wine and dine where you go and the movies you see. That's like 2 trips, right?
Basically. In this economy, with the inflation that we're dealing with.
I saw your Lowry's dinner there with the prime rib.
We didn't get the Lowry's.
I know what it was.
We tried.
Yeah,
we tried.
I'm just, I'm lucky if I get a bucket of cookies.
You get 2 buckets. You get 2 buckets of cookies and they're warm.
So
tell me how that happens.
I'm going to share a little. If you're ever down in the Southern California area, at least at the USC Stadium, the Coliseum, and also at the Rose Bowl, they have this place called Kathy's Cookies. I'm sure there's other of them. It was just a truck, but they serve these chocolate chip cookies, but they're warm, and man, it makes a real difference. And my kids love them. My son and I had them a year and a half ago when we were down there, and then we had them at the Rose Bowl last year, and then so this is my third. It was a good time. I had 1 bucket of cookies for the game and 1 bucket I brought home. Pure tax expense for me, because it was a legitimate business trip. I had a client, future somebody there that had some divorce questions, and we went into details as far as what happened. So
I didn't sit by you, so I don't know all this. It was client privilege, I guess, at that point.
Yes.
I was gonna go get me some buckets of cookies, but I didn't want to wait in the line, and now I wish I would have.
And maybe you should have told me, and I should have known. I should have just brought you a bucket.
Yeah, you should have.
I should have just taken care of you.
You should have.
Taken care
How
of
much is a bucket of cookies?
It was like $27, $28.
A bucket?
A bucket, yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, it was a spending.
Everything's expensive.
But
in that region of the country, things are a lot more expensive than in our region, I've noticed.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Everything costs more. So and that again makes it even more for tax purposes. You really have to button in and kind of know your things. And I think I know I got not bamboozled, but I had said some items that I said set it and forget it on the eBays. It was some T-Mobile hats that I'd found in my buckets up there to the NPS store, and I don't know, I had like 20 of them, and I just put it up for $20, and I keep selling them. But the problem, and I'm still making money because I literally got them for
nothing, basically.
Yeah, like maybe 25 cents. But I put it up there for, and I think I had like a sale on my store, so it ended up being like $17. But then I have to pay my eBay fees and then the shipping, so I'm making $10, which I'll take that all day long. That'll buy me a third of a bucket of cookies. But I'm like, I haven't updated my pricing to kind of, reflect some of those things.
Yeah.
So that was one of the things that I had kind of thought about is, if you haven't been in your store lately, like I said, go in and just kind of tweak some things, look at it. But that algorithm works. Once you start selling something, man, it just keeps
going.
Popping.
It does. It's been a weird year. As you know, last year I went very heavy. I was going to go all cards, all wrestling cards this year, which I basically did. However, the card market came down quite a bit from where it was, so maybe I zigged when I should have zagged. We'll figure it out with tax time. I mean, I did all right. I sold things, but like you're saying, go on vacation or whatever, one thing sells, and before I know it, I got 5 things to package when I come home. I've been home for a week or two or whatever we're at now, and I'm like, all right, anything can sell now.
Yeah.
Come on, something. You're kind of like poking it with a stick, hoping it's still alive at some point. But, I mean, the T-Mobile, anything. I mean, $10, you think, okay, that's not that much, but, 10 hats, $100.
Yeah. $100 will buy you 3 buckets of cookies.
3 buckets of cookies, or it'll get you, the way I fly, it'll get you to any major metropolitan area you want one way.
You don't know when you'll get there, if you'll get there.
Yeah, you don't know. It's kind of a gamble, right? We kind of like to gamble a little bit. It's rolling the dice. You will get there eventually, and you probably will get home most of the time.
You're in the jumper seat holding onto somebody's dog in a crate.
Hey, I hear that's better than first class.
That's what I've heard lately.
I don't know.
I've heard the jumper seat. So, like I said, that the tax time, it's always stressful, especially your first year. And again, the biggest thing is people get confused on their inventory and their cost of goods sold. That's always the biggest thing, is because everybody thinks, well, I spent $10,000, I should be able to write it all off.
Dang right.
No, you don't. Like I said, you still have inventory, and you can't count that inventory as what your quote unquote sales price is going to be. That's just not how it works. So really, you want to kind of get an idea on what your year-end inventory value is. I said not what the selling value is, but what you paid for those items.
I'll just show you my PSA slips, and you'll cry with me.
Oh, I know. I saw it. It ran through my account.
You thought it was yours for a minute. Sigh of relief when you saw it going to D-Roy.
I kind of thought about it. I'm like, I would be okay if you used my account because it charges my credit card, and I know you're good for it. You'll pay me. But you would have paid for my Delta miles for, a couple trips to New York with the kind of dollars you spent this year.
Yeah, that's true. It was a big grading year. I don't know. That's the thing. I've talked with my wife about it because we had plenty of time to talk on a long drive home. But it's like...
So, Derek, how come these charges keep showing up on here?
We covered that too. I just, the value that I got and the cards that I have, I'll more than make back that money.
Absolutely.
I'll make, I don't know, 3 to 4 times back.
Yeah.
It's just going to be a long haul to get there.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I get the cards, I look at them, and they put a smile on my face. I'm happy I did it. And when we did it was the time to do it, all that kind of thing. It's just when you get hit with a big surplus like that all up front, and you think, am I crazy? What am I doing here? I spent thousands of dollars putting plastic around a cardboard piece of paper.
Yeah, but it's the same thing, and that's what...
with a guy in spandex on the front.
Collectibles are... It's an investment. It's an actual commodity that people will buy. It's your partial retirement type thing. I mean, you have a fund of money that you've put items into that will be sold by somebody else. I mean, you have collectible art. You have collectible jewelry. That's what you have. And if you look at it like that, saying, the value of it now is what it is, but it'll be significantly higher in, 3, 5, 12, 30 years.
Hopefully in a week when I finally list the stupid thing. But the nice thing is I do know, say, heaven forbid a hurricane blows through down here and we just need the money or whatever. I know that I could sell at the value of what I could make my money back, no problem, and just say, hey, I'm selling this at cost. This is what I paid. No problem. I haven't gone in a week if I needed to.
2,500. I'll give you 2,500.
Exactly. See, I could do it.
I'll do it.
I could do it.
And I know I'm getting a steal at that deal.
Exactly.
Maybe I need to have a conversation with Holly.
Maybe.
Maybe you'll just come home and one of the rooms will be cleaned out.
I'll talk to Katie about some soccer cards. She'll get some wrestling cards. It'll all work out.
Oh, man, I did do the cleanup. I cleaned up my closet over here in the office. In fact, it's literally right behind you. Cleaned it all up. I got all my cards kind of in one spot. And, man, I got some good stuff. I really do. I'm excited. I've got my tickets still sitting there at PSA. I've got another order that's just kind of hanging out. But I'm really excited about my tickets. And one of the things, I've got all my Tiger Woods. I've got a couple Star Wars tickets. So I'm excited about it.
That's the thing. So this year I need to figure out, I mean, I obviously got to finish listing and getting everything up that I got and get it ready to sell. But I don't know if I want to just keep on that path and just be card guy, wrestling card guy, hit up the whatnot, still be your boy D-Roy over there. If I want to branch out into other cards, because, I mean, I got binders here that you'll just say, hey, take that with you. I don't know, $1 a sheet. I don't know, something like that. Or if I want to go back into the clothing, or if I want to go try and find something else, I got to kind of figure out where I want to go because, man, I need to make some money.
Yes.
Your boy ain't getting any younger.
Yeah, that's true.
And that Disney trip, now my wife knows I'm capable of going to Disneyland. Maybe Disney World's on the horizon. I don't know.
You did go to Orlando this year.
Yeah.
Without her.
Without her and with you.
The Michael Benjamin, he made the trip. He went to Disney.
You know how many times I have been basically across the street from Disney World by myself and never went?
I'm guessing a handful.
More than one. And one of them was with you just a couple months ago. We got, football season's just around the corner.
It is.
It'll be here before we know it. Probably a few games I want to go. I mean, there's always things, and you always need to find a way to afford these things. Unless you're sitting on, multiple six-figure salary and enjoying what you're doing.
And you got foundry money.
You got foundry money just lying in the couches or something like that. You got to, most of us have to find a little side hustle, a little side gig, and for us it's been reselling. I don't know. I keep wondering, is the juice, is it worth the squeeze?
Yeah.
Or do I need to find new fruit? I don't know.
And that's the thing is you do have to realize too, especially after the fact, like you have to pay taxes. Like that's the hard part that I don't think a lot of people get in and understand. And again, depending on your situation, whether it's a side hustle, whether it's kind of turned into a full-time gig, should you be an S corporation? I mean, there's so many different. I guess there's three tiers. That's really what it is. There's three tiers of these resellers of, are you kind of hitting it just, dipping your toe in the water? Are you semi-committed? And then are you a full-time goer? Like, and again, depending on each one of those situations, it's going to be different in your taxes. Yours is a perfect example with all of these grading costs. The way I look at it as an accountant, which that's the best thing about accounting, is it's so vague in a lot of ways. Your grading costs really are a cost of goods sold. And what I mean by that is we're not going to have to take all of your grading costs because you don't need all of them because Derek spent a lot of money on grading. I'm not going to say the number, but it definitely started with, 1, 2. There's 5 digits in there. Let's just say that.
I paid less for cars.
Yes. But we might necessarily, we're not going to need all of those. So
I think I paid more for a car than I have for grading cards.
I know that and that's an accumulation. Like, it's like 3 Priuses.
What have I done?
Derek's kind of freaking out right now.
I'm never going to financially recover from this, Adam.
Yeah, I'll give you $2,500 on the spot, or half a Prius.
Is that cash?
Cash monies. No, but there's ways to kind of figure out what is going to be the best tax consequence for you because there's no reason to take, over because you still have value there. It's going to sell at one point, so you don't want to have a super negative year and then the next year be super positive because really it should even out because that's what really happened.
That is what really happened.
Yeah, and you need to be aware of those. Except if you're selling online, there are a lot of consequences to it. And the good part is I have been so busy, and I've had people contact us, and I love it, and I appreciate it. We always love the feedback, but honestly right now, like, I've already had 5 people call to get tax appointments between yesterday and today, and we're January 10th. And luckily, the office manager, she says, I'm sorry, he doesn't have enough time.
Luckily.
Yeah, luckily.
Luckily, you're turning them away.
I
told you I could greet people. I'd come in here, I'd welcome them, I'd give them a warm cookie, because we know we like cookies.
That's true.
I'd give them a glass of water. I'd probably get it from the Costco, but they won't get a full bottle, because we could get 2 per customer that way. And I'd say, Mr. Beesley will be with you shortly. We'd have some music playing. Let me know if there's anything I could do to make this more enjoyable for you. And on the way out, I'd say, thanks for coming, guys. We really appreciate it.
That would be wonderful, but the problem is Mr. Beesley doesn't have enough hours in a day to get done what
we need to clone you. We need to get that AI on this.
If we could do that, if I could, what was Molly? What was that sheep's name? The first sheep.
I don't know what you sheep. I don't know.
The first sheep that got cloned in London. I can't remember. Yeah,
Duplicity with
Duplicity.
With Mr. Mom himself.
I've just really come to that realization is I've had to learn how to say no. Because for my abilities, for my question, because usually they've all got like a train wreck. They've all got problems, and it takes a lot of time to get them fixed. And I can't bring the value because my time is limited. It just is. It's the same thing with reselling. Like, you do what you're good at, and that's what you sell, because once you kind of get out in the weeds, it takes you time and it costs you money.
You got to get it back to, Yeah, well, if somebody wants to work for Adam up accounting,
Yeah, that's a great point, Derek.
Somebody's into the accounting and thinks, oh, man, I could, my skills would work there. Tell them Derek referred you, and you'll get half a Prius bonus, or I will, or somebody will. I don't know. We'll squeeze some money out of Adam one way or another, but you got to be reputable. I'm not going to refer you if you're not. So call me first, and we'll talk about cookies and milk or water. Or
soy milk, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, tax, like I said, thinking about those consequences, understanding your cost of goods sold, understanding how much money you brought in. And again, like I said, the easiest way to do it, even though Derek hasn't been, drinking the Kool-Aid, I've told him what to do. He's not doing it, but he at least has one bank account, one credit card, and it's all in there. Those are his business expenses. I've been very, say, you got to do this, and now he can sit down and go through it all, and it will take some time, but that's what you need to do.
Well, mileage. I ended up driving back from California, so that's a good 67 cents a mile or something at this point.
Yeah, it was crazy. It just keeps going up.
I had to, somehow that was a business trip.
Yeah.
Business wasn't taken care of by the team, but it was a business trip.
There was no business.
I made friends with Bobby's Burgers.
You do got a place down there in Pasadena.
Contacts.
It's a lot of good things. So don't be discouraged by taxes. Like I said, go at it head on. There's a lot of really good resources. Like I said, Not Your Dad's CPA Mark II. He's really good. He's really good at what he does. And I actually talked to him because he's in the same boat, but I think he found somebody. So if you do get some tax questions, he'd be happy to, like I said, hopefully answer some of those for you.
You guys just go to like a convention together?
No.
Accountants, like crunch numbers and eat, fries?
Yes, we do. That's what we did, Derek.
I thought so.
We all got together.
I never get invited, and I always wonder why. I've never met Mr. Two. I've heard all about him. I know you guys are friends. He's very popular in the online world.
We should find out. In fact, I saw him yesterday. He posted in another tax professional group that we're a part of.
Yeah.
I didn't know he was a part of it, but it makes sense. And he posted a question, and I answered it. So
well, I know you guys are bosom buddies. I just never get to go eat the French fries with you. Now it makes sense. I'm not in the club.
You're not an accountant. You're not an accountant.
I'm not numbers. I wish I was. I'd work for you.
We were talking Section 179 and then arbitrary cost valuations. Exactly.
Oh, sorry.
You'd need your CPAP machine, and that'd just be uncomfortable for everybody.
Great. It wouldn't be for when I welcome people in. I'd have to take the hose off for a minute, but it'd be okay.
The hose off. So, well, that being said, my buddy, there are two things in life that are for certain, and that would be
Deathpiles and taxes.
We're well within our rights to use this song. We're aware that preaching copyright is wrong.